Hi, I'm Scott Letourneau, corporate chef for Stanford Steak. Today I'm going to walk you through one of our signature items, which will be our lobster tail and grilled filet. We're going to start out by taking this all the way from its whole state tenderloin, and we're going to cut that down into 6-ounce fillets. This is our 1855 filet mignon, which is an upper 2/3 of choice. So what that means is that upper 2/3 is choice is a very broad grade. That upper 2/3 gets you as close to you can as prime without kind of getting all of those prime prices that you have to incur. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to trim off this chain. I'm going to take off some of the excess fat, and I'm going to trim off this silver skin that you see on top, which is not very palatable. I'm going to go ahead and set this to the side. I can trim up that. There's some good meat on there that can be put into other dishes. I'm going to remove this silver skin off the top. I'm going to slide that knife as tight to the silver skin as possible without removing any meat, all the way down the line. You want to really minimize as much meat as you take off here. You're just trying to take off just that top portion. Once you get that trimmed all the way down, we're going to get ourselves a nice couple of 1855 fillets. I'm going to trim off just the end of this so we get a nice center cut piece that shows up really well on the plate. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Once we're here, I'm going to look at my back chain and I'm going to remove just a little bit of this excess fat. Fillets are really, really lean cut of meat, very soft in texture. So we're going to remove some of this rib fat that's off the back. From here, I'm going to get a nice cut on a 6-ounce filet. Very nice marbling on the inside. I'm going to trim that down. This is certainly an opportunity. I know when I'm at home, this is 1855 premium, but you know, when I go out and I buy meat at the store, a lot of times I will get a whole filet like this and trim it down. And all this stuff in here you can use for stews, or you can saute up in a different dish. But here we've got our nice 6-ounce fillets all ready to go for the grill. All right, our next step will be with our lobster tail. What you want to do when you're cutting through this shell, pretty easy. You can just use household scissors to cut through. You're going to start right underneath the shell, and you're going to slide that blade as close to the top of the shell as you can, putting pressure at the top. So you just cut through the top of the shell. You want to cut through that last little segment that's right there in the back. You're going to flip the lobster over, and you'll see that the lobster's got little ribs that run down the back of it. All you need to do is just take your scissors, get one of those ribs and just twist and break that rib. Just like that. What that's going to allow it to do is separate out and let you remove the meat really easily. I'm going to get 2 fingers underneath the meat, pull that meat all the way to the top of the shell, and just lay that right on top of it. What I'll do is I'll cook down on the shell. We want to make sure it's cleaned out and there's no waste in there. But that looks fantastic, ready to go for the pan. All right, one final step before we get this into the oven. I'm going to place a little bit of chicken sauce stock in the bottom of this pan. What this is going to do, it's going to allow that pan to have a little bit of moisture so it doesn't dry the lobster out. And also, I'm going to baste the top of that with a little bit of clarified butter. Once that's finished, I'll spread out the tail just a little bit so when it's finished cooking, It'll have a great presentation straight into the oven. All right, it's time to start grilling. We have our 6-ounce filet that we have cleaned up and ready to go. I'm gonna use our house-made seasoning, steak seasoning. You can use whatever seasoning that you really like. Here we have thyme, kosher salt, chili flakes, granulated garlic, granulated onion. I'm liberally seasoning all sides of the steak, top and bottom. And I'm gonna place that right on the grill at a nice hot spot so I can get some good marks on it. At home, so you can get surround heat, it's great to have a dome. What that does is it gives you nice all around heat and allows that filet to really sear off and give it nice color. We're gonna let that sit on the grill for about 2.5 minutes per turn. The filet at medium rare should take you all of about 12 minutes, and don't forget that you want to rest your steak after you're done for at least 5 minutes to allow all that juice to reabsorb into the steak. Now that our steak is rested for 5 minutes, we're ready to plate. We have our nice 6-ounce filet that's been resting. So that juice is all reabsorbed into that meat. We have a wonderful looking lobster tail. As you can see, it's not over curled, not overcooked. Our tail is fanned out nicely. We're gonna plate that, pointing in the opposite direction. Now with this, you can serve it with your favorite veg or your starch. With the surf and turf at Stanford Steaks, we serve ours with our lime basmati rice. So I have house-made lime basmati rice, which we're gonna pile up. I'm keeping everything inside the rim, nice and clean. And then I've chosen to do some nice grilled asparagus. I just took these on the grill, brushed them with a little bit of oil, your favorite seasoning, so you get a little bit of char marks on there. And we're gonna finish off our plate with a little bit of drawn butter or clarified butter. You're just gonna melt down your butter. It's gonna separate a little bit, and you wanna just remove that butter from the top that's clear. Therefore, you're getting the best sauce that's not gonna interfere with your lobster in any way. I've roasted off a little garlic clove here and just put a little rosemary sprig in the middle of it, just to kind of get fancy. And then I have a blistered lemon. What I've done is I've just taken that lemon, I put it on the grill just to create a little bit of char. It's gonna caramelize off some of the sugars in the lemon. Goes wonderfully on top of the lobster. Little angle on top of your rice. We have our surf and turf. Clean up our rim a little bit. And we're ready to go.